on the Innovative Planning Pathway, Level 2, and the project is to connect with her audience. Cheryl has been a nurse for over 23 years. You would think that she would already know about the shadow self and shadow work, but she had never heard of it until yesterday. She has, however, had dark moments in her life where she has become very self-aware of her feelings and which action to choose based on being vulnerable or strong. She believes that everything happens for a reason. We just don't know why at the time. It will present itself later. Hence, take some time, nurture yourself. And with that comes clarity and light. Please welcome Cheryl Black with her presentation titled, It's All Good.
Welcome everybody tonight. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I think I could speculate a little bit and assume that everybody in this room has at some point in your life experienced severe loss. Raise your hands. On December 19th last year, I lost two people that I love very dearly. At 11 o'clock in the morning, my mom took her last breaths. And at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, my boyfriend, who I was going to be moving in with this February, broke up with me. Exactly. In one day, I was broken twice. I was in a dark valley on and off, but I came out of it, and this is my story. December 19th, I flew into Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada for Christmas. I knew my mom was sick, but my family didn't share with me how much because I couldn't get there earlier. They picked me up at the airport, they took me straight to the ICU. I bypassed all my aunts and uncles, my cousins. Something's up. I walk inside and I see my mom. I put her hand in my hand and I said, Mom, I'm here. I'm here. And she hadn't opened her eyes or anything for hours, and she bolted up her eyes and she said, hi, 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 hi. My sister goes to get the family. And I'm holding her hand and I'm saying, Mom, I love you. I just want you to know. And tears start coming down my face. And she's saying something to me, and I'm leaning in, and I can hear her whispering, don't you cry, don't you cry. And so I didn't for a month. Since January 19th, I flew back to St. Petersburg on January 19th. And that day, I was finally alone for the first time in a month. And I sat on my couch, and on my TV entertainment center at the top, there's this sign that I've had there for 15 years. And I got it because it resonates with me. It is who I am. And it says, it's all good. For the first time in my life, I wanted to go up there and take that sign and take it down and bend that metal in half and throw it out. I didn't really believe it anymore. But 5 things happened since that day. 1, I went to work with a smile on my face. I'm an ICU nurse myself. And the children I worked with helped me through, and those were my bright days. 2, I went home, and on my days off, I stayed still. And this actually allowed me to go through all the 5 stages of grief. There was a lot of denial of how could this happen to me. There was a crap load of anger on 2 major levels. I did a little bargaining. We knew that wasn't going to work. I was definitely depressed. I didn't want to get out of bed. When I did, I left my PJs on all day. I ordered food out. I usually eat healthily. I didn't. I didn't reach out to my family. I told everybody I was okay. I was just doing things on my own, taking my time. I was a mess. Finally, one day, there was a little bit of acceptance, and I woke up and I said, I didn't want to be this way anymore. That leads me to the 3rd thing that was very important, is I reached out to my friends and family, and I told the truth of where I was, that I was finally hitting the rock bottom. My family called me every day. They texted me. My friends came over to listen to me because I didn't want to go out. I didn't really want to have fun. They took me for a walk. They listened to me some more. Then they invited me to their place. Oh, they brought me food, thank God. And then I went to their place and had dinner and a movie, and I gradually kind of came out of it all. A part of that was I came to Toastmasters because you are all so supportive and you inspire people. And that was a huge part of my journey also. Fourth, spoke my truth, listened wisely, and forgave. 4 days when my mom was in the first hospital, each one of us sisters, each one of her daughters said to the hospital, "There's something wrong with my mom. This is not my mom." I work for the healthcare facility. I know people make mistakes. I begged them. On the 4th day, I said to my sister, "You take your phone up and I'm going to FaceTime that charge nurse and I'm going to get heard." And the doctor happened to be standing there and he tried to feed me a bunch of stuff. And I said, no, you need to go into the room right now with this phone and you need to do an old-fashioned head-to-toe assessment and you need to see this is not my mom. I'm telling you, this is not my mom. So that night they did a bunch of tests. The next day they whisked her off to another hospital for an emergency surgery an hour away. I don't know if things would have changed, but that was a pivotal moment and it caused a lot of anger inside of me. So we're writing a letter because the only thing that you can do, everybody makes mistakes, is to try and make their process better. So a lot of acceptance came along with all of that. I listened to my boyfriend. He was begging for me to listen. He was reaching out constantly. He knew he made a mistake. He just wanted me to understand what had happened, and I had really blocked him out of my life. And so finally I said, okay, I'm going to really listen. And he said, "Cheryl, I've been fighting depression for 10 years. I've been on meds for 10 years. And when I met you many months ago, I was so happy. And for months I was happy. And he did what everybody thinks that they can do, is he went off his meds. Kind of gradually for a while, and then he went off his meds when I flew to Canada, thinking that's it, we're starting our lives together, I don't need this anymore. And he went a little cuckoo. Forgiveness came for both areas a little while later. But the last thing is, I looked at the silver lining. My mom was 83 years old. My boyfriend's father died when he was 9. I had many, many years with my mom. She was extremely healthy till 82. And that last year, she was a spitfire. No, I'm doing it myself. You don't need to do nothing for me. That Christmas was the most memorable Christmas I will cherish for the rest of my life. When we realized that we had to make the best of every moment, my nieces went out, they bought all these Christmas decorations and little hats and all this stuff, and we had a beautiful Christmas. Everybody got to speak to my mom, everybody got to say how much they loved her, we got to share stories, we got to laugh, we got to cry, we got to hold her. I got to bathe my mom, which sounds weird, but from a nurse, it means something. The other silver lining with my boyfriend is that he takes his meds every day now. He's going to counseling every week. He's looking at what happened 10 years ago and he's trying to move forward with it. He's actually putting in the work that he maybe should have done before, but until he lost something he really wanted, he didn't realize what he needed to do. And so we're talking, we're helping each other through our journeys, and I don't know where that's going to go, but we'll see. Maybe I need to dig a little bit deeper into my shadow and do a little shadow work with depression, because it definitely had sparked something in me. We all go through dark moments and times in life. Very profound loss for different reasons. We grieve differently, we do things differently, we go through the stages differently. If you see somebody, offer some assistance. If you don't want to share your story, feel free to share mine. In dark moments, there can be clarity and there can be light. Little gifts of heaven, if you're looking. I can sit on my couch now and I can look up at my sign and I fully believe it, that it's all good.